Hi, in this video I'm going to take you through how to do counts and recounts on stock items. This is a new feature that's been added to OPUS in order to enable operators to be able to easily and quickly count, as well as understand the variances and then send back to existing operators a recount to be done on specific items where there might be a variance. So the starting point is all in the stock items section on the left hand side, and we've introduced a new menu item called variances. This variance grid will start off by presenting the site holdings, and it's important to first of all select the actual site that you wish to work on. So I'm going to choose a particular site, our Germiston warehouse. I'm going to then choose a project. What this does, before I select project, what this does is it creates a dashboard with all the quantities and all the current holdings as defined by the various transactions that happen in the stock system in OPUS. This could be an integrated platform, so it could integrate into an ERP system, which then holds the stock that could be used as an update of the current stock holdings. In this case, I have an example where the stock holdings are calculated based on transactions moving in and out of warehouses. So at this point, you'll see that there is no count currently and there's no variance, and that's simply because I do not have a project listed. Now I've captured a bunch of counts on a project. I have what I call this project here, this Germiston stock count 2022.2, and if I select that, I've already done a bunch of counts on this. So if I select it, it'll present then all of the counts that are currently in and any issues that I might have. So in this case, I've got no variances. They all seem to be tallying up. I have a couple of, and this is with counts that I've done through the normal count transaction. I have a couple that have not been counted, which are the ones that I'm probably more concerned about. So let's choose this item here that hasn't been counted, and that item I think were also not counted. Now, in order to get a quick count done by the operator, what you can do is simply press the action button and say recount selected items, and what that will do is create a job for the operator, the designated operator. If you don't select an operator, it will simply put in, it'll set up the job, but then it'll be unassigned at that point, and you can reassign it later. Notes and instructions, if you want to, there is a default instruction that'll go out, which is simply stating to the operator to please recount the selected items on the job. If you leave it blank, if you want to have a specific notes instructions, you can put that in there. And in this case, I'm just going to create the job to do the recount. Now what this will do is go in and create a job automatically in the background. So if I go to jobs checklist, you'll see that there will actually be a job for today called the recount Germiston stock count, which has been automatically created for the user test app point. And if I go into the actual checklist, it's predefined for me all of the items that I need to go in and count, and that job has been allocated to the particular individual. So now let's look at the job that's been created. I'm going to go on to the WebGL version. This will obviously be sent to a device, a phone of sorts or tablet, on which the operator can then perform the recounts. So if we look at this, if I now go in and capture, for example, over here on this job that's been created for me as the operator, I can go start, and it's immediately showing me that there are 3 items. I can go and enter the items, and I don't have to go into each item. I can go in and count them directly over here. So if I found that there are actually 0 of that one, there's 1 of this one, and there's 12 of that particular item, all I do is I select those, hit send, and I sign off, and that's it. That's all I need to do. The job has been created automatically for you. It's the operator has gone in and completed it. You can see it's now signed off. The elements have been captured as 1, 12, and 0, and if I now go back to the variance dashboard, it'll now have updated the site, the Germiston site, with that information that we've captured. So if I go here, go to the project, bear in mind that I'm working on a specific project, so, and this is the Germiston stock count. You can have as many projects as you like. So if we capture that, you'll see now that I've got a couple of counts now that have happened. So one of them I captured is tying up, and the other one over here is 1 and 12. They were 0. In fact, I think the other one might actually be on the second page here. Oh, I kept it as 0. So it's 0 and 0. That's why it's exactly the same. And it's equal, although here I've got two jobs that are not making sense in that they should be zeros, but I've counted 1 and 12. And you can see very quickly I can now get to that. If that is correct, I can go on. If it's not correct, I can then select those two items again and say, well, I need those to be recounted once more, and it'll then recount and add that in. So if I go in and say, right, go in and select those two, and we'll send it to the same operator, test app point, create the job. It'll now go off, create that particular job. Let's go back to our app and go onto the floor and do the counts. It'll now go in and you can see my item counters there. I can go in and count over here, and let's assume I've got 0 for this and 0 for both items. So I've now entered quantities of 0. What that'll do is it'll then update the particular count and record the fact that the actual count should have been 0. So if I just refresh this by going back into the variance grid, let's go back to Germiston, and let's choose the project again, and that should now give us a view of all totaled up and all without those not counted. Again, if I wanted to go and do a count on a couple more, it's as simple as going action over here, go recount. As you can see, it's really easy. I can count items that have not been counted and count items that have been counted. What happens is if it's an item that has already got a quantity, it will not update on the app. It will not show any value, so it's a blind count for that particular individual. So if I go here under quantities, I can go in 1, let's just 2, 3, and let's make that one 0. So now we're going to go in and save that again, complete the task. I'm going to go back into the variance check over here. Let's go and fire it up, see what's on our Germiston site. And the project will be that 2022 count, Germiston stock count. And we'll see that we've got a couple of items that aren't balancing at this point. Now, if I've counted this and I'm now happy, it's gone through 3 iterations, I'm comfortable, I'd like to update my quantities and create a series of adjustments to go in and update those that are incorrect. We've made that really simple. All you do is you go to actions over here and you go to update holdings. It will then, you actually do need to select an item that you want to go and update. So I'm going to choose those 3 items that I've selected. It doesn't matter if you select another item, it's just going to ignore those which don't have any values. So you could in fact even select the whole lot like that and say, right, please go and do an update on the whole lot. If I go in, it won't go and do an update on every job that, or every item that is equal. It'll ignore those. For the rest, it'll go in and create them like that. So if we go in and run that out, it's going to create a job. Let's go to the jobs itself. And we'll see today we've got a couple of recounts that we did. There's our stock adjustments. So every adjustment that we needed to make will be recorded in here. And you can see there's the 3 items that it adjusted. It ignored those which were equal, and it's just added in those that were changed. And that happened just at the touch of a button. If we now go to variances, we can go back in and see what our stock holdings looks like, and if there are any issues outstanding. I think we've updated pretty much everything on the first page, so we should be happy and there shouldn't be any more discrepancies. Everything is rounded off and down to 0. So that's in a nutshell how the counts and recounts work, how the variance screen works. It's really powerful. You can also use it to do just random counts by selecting the items you want to count in a particular site on the variance screen. Issue a count, an item recount to a particular operator, and that operator will then go out and count and go and it'll update from there. So a really powerful new solution that's been added to OPUS, and we see a lot of value in this, especially that there's a lot of automation that's going on. I hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to the next one. Thank you.